Craig, the McLaren MCL33 Renault, to give it its correct title, has been built kind of from the start of the year as it was ready for Melbourne. That's what we heard. And then we heard that this is the car that it should have been in Melbourne, and here it is in Barcelona with this amazing new nose.
Yeah, it's strange. We looked at the car when it was launched and we thought it was a bit underdeveloped. We wondered what was going on with the McLaren design team. It transpires that the car was designed to have this new nose on it because of crash test and production issues. The nose wasn't ready. It's appeared now in Barcelona, and just when you thought you couldn't find anything new in Formula One or way of doing things differently, you get the new nose come through. So this is what the car was designed to run with. It's not a reaction from the beginning of the season.
Well, that was the old nose. Now let's have a look at the new shape.
The existing nose was pretty standard, but now you have the new nose, and you can see you've got 3 inlets up the tip of the nose. You've got this cape underneath. I think you could do with a bit more black paint underneath. It looks very big and glaring when you see it on the real car. And this whole setup is quite unique, but it's all about this cape that goes underneath. Now the cape, they've existed in Formula One. McLaren ran snowplows under the nose for quite a few years anyway, but Mercedes have introduced this concept of a cape, which is really...
Which Lotus introduced at the Belgian Grand Prix in '67, I think you'll find.
I stand to be corrected. Again, nothing's entirely new, but there's certainly some new approaches. So it's getting this cape to work. So if we just roll on and see what's happening with this cape first of all, you can see these red arrows, these vortices coming off of the cape, and these are passing through some special turning vanes just up behind the nose and then going out through the barge boards and out round the sides of the car. Now, this effect is to get the rear end of the car working and to push the front tyre wake away from the...
Which is what all that intricate stuff is all about.
All of this front end aero. It's very rarely about actually creating downforce at the front. There's no problem with these cars creating enough front downforce. It's all about giving up some of that performance and some of that bodywork for the rear end effect. So you see this Vortex being produced, and it's quite important because all the other aspects of this nose are there to help this cape working. So if we move on another step, you see what I describe as these blades, these freestanding pillars coming up the side of the nose with what everyone's describing as a credit card slot down the inside. Now, what these are doing... when the
cash machine in the case of Zach Brown, probably just put the card in.
That's, where they put Fernando's paycheck into, probably. So the way the regulations are, the top of the nose is very flat, and it makes it very hard for the airflow to spill off of it. So what they've done is they're trying to capture that airflow spilling off with these slots, push it under the nose and get this vortex working even harder. And then you have the inlets at the front of the nose, which have to be ducted very carefully inside to make them legal. It's quite a tricky job, and we haven't seen underneath the nose
That's
yet.
the time-consuming bit, the bit we can't actually see.
It's the bit, I'll be waiting at Monaco to snap some pictures. So the air goes into these things, and they then come out under the cape, and again, that's sending nice, clear air to the back of the car, but also, again, it's helped generating that vortex by just spinning up a little bit quicker and creating a more powerful effect. So all of this is there, all about managing that cape.
And in that context, interesting that there are a few stories saying now that the problem with Williams is the floor and the diffuser, but you made the point last week, nonetheless, the solution is going to be at the front wing, and that kind of bears it out, right?
It is. I mean, everything about these cars at the moment is about the front wing performance, especially because when you have the turning wheels, it changes the entire airflow. Most of the teams, when they're working in CFD, they're not bothered about the car being in a straight line. It's all about how does it deal with the curved airflow and the changing tyres and the angle of the car through a corner, and then they'll just go to the wind.
So if the diffuser's stalling on the Williams, the solution is to get the airflow...
It's to get the air approaching the floor at the right way, which will be front wing as a large part of that, and then the barge boards just work out the pressure distribution from there.